Hi everybody, Grandad here again. And what am I up to today? Well, today I'm doing a little video, but it is a little bit different. It's a video asking for your help. Now what I've got on the table in front of me here, which you can't see just yet, are about 7 or 8 little items that I don't know what they are. Now I'm always going to car boot sales and markets and what have you. And I'm always looking out for scientific and medical type things that interest me. And some years ago now, I picked up a box of glassware from an antique market. And I've puzzled over them ever since. And I found them again just recently. So I thought maybe someone out there on the YouTube land might know what they actually are. Now, the chap I bought them off actually said that he thought they belonged to a nurse, a district nurse, or possibly a midwife. But he had no idea what they were, so I bought them as a job lot. Now, I've got another piece of glassware here, before I get on to those. I've got another piece of glassware here, which I bought up from a market. Now, I'm sure you recognise that. Now, I know what this is. This is a retort, although it's got the little plug that fits in this hole here. Is missing, unfortunately. That part had got mislaid somehow and I wasn't able to buy it, but you can use a cork in that, and I'm going to actually use this little bit of apparatus in an upcoming video, hopefully. But I know what that is. It's called a retort, and it's for boiling up chemicals and condensing them down this tube, and then it goes into a bottle. So I know what that one is, or I think I do. So that's one thing I picked up. Now, I've got another thing here. Now, again, I know what this is. It's a syringe. And it's all marked off in millimetres. It says British made on it by Smuts, S-U-M-M-I-T. Smuts, I think. And I can't say interchangeable. Now, it's an old, this shows that some of this equipment is probably quite old. And that's one thing the reason I'm showing you this syringe is to give you some idea of how old this equipment must be, because this syringe was amongst it, as well as a thermometer, I believed, or something. So I know what that is. Obviously, it's a syringe, and you would change different needles on the end. I didn't get any needles with it, but the needle would go on the end, and then you could use that to give an injection. So I know what that is. Now we're getting on to the items, which I haven't got a clue what they are. Now, the first one looks a little bit like that retort. It's got the same sort of design. It's got a little bowl on the bottom, and a little hole there which you could stop off, but it doesn't look like a stopper hole. It looks like maybe there was something different on there, and then it's got a funny little spout there. Now again, I've no idea what that's for. Now what I'm doing with each one of these little things, you see I put a little bit of paper on here. Now that one is marked up at number 1. Now the idea is, if you recognize any of these items which I'm going to show you, and you know what they are, if you could put a comment in the, put a message in the comments, tell me what it's called and perhaps what it's used for, and to identify which one you're talking about, I'll put the number. So this first one, which looks very strange, I'm calling number 1. Now the next one, again a strange looking thing, it's called number 2. I'm putting it in as number 2, but it's a long glass, thin glass tube, got a slight flare at the one end, only tiny. And at the other end, it's got a sort of a little bobble with a nipple on the end with a hole in. So it's completely hollow. But I've no idea what it is or what it could be used for. And that I marked up as number 2. Now the next items, there's actually 3 of these, and they're all in different sizes. So number 3 is this one. Again, it's a strange tube with funny lumps towards either end and smoothed off. It doesn't look as if it has a cork or something. Maybe you connected it to something. I've no idea. But there's 3 of them, and that happens to be number 3. And I've got another one, which is a little bit smaller, slightly smaller version. And then another one, which is a similar shape, but much smaller again. So there's 3 of those, same sort of shape, but different sizes. And then there's this one, which I'm calling number 4. Which again is a pointy looking thing, And again, it doesn't seem to connect to any of the other pieces of equipment, but it's got a tube opening on that end, opening both ends, thicker, with a ring round it, and I'm calling that one number 4. Now there's 2 of those. I think they're both the same size, so you haven't got a variety of those, but there's 2 of those, and I'm calling them number 4. Now this one is really weird. I mean, what on earth? This is number 5. Now what on earth can this be used for? This is the strangest thing I've ever seen. It looks like a little dog or something, but it's got a flat bottom on here. Underneath is flat, so it looks as if it lies down on something. It's got a strange little conical shape here with a lip round it, so whether you drip something into there, I don't know. And then it's got a little container there with a funny spout with a hole in and a little bubble. Now that's the weirdest thing I've ever seen, and I haven't got a clue what it is. If you recognise it, let me know, and it's number 5. Now number 6 is very similar to number 3, but slightly different. Now this is number 6, and it's got a similar shape at this end. It's got like a lumpy little bit at that end, which could connect into something somehow. But at this end, it's got a bubble with a hole in the end, but it's got 4 little holes round the sides. Now what on earth is that used for? Is it something medical? Is it something gynecological? I've no idea. Now if you're a district nurse, or you know somebody that is, or you work as a doctor, or a vet even, I've no idea. Maybe these are veterinary tools. I've no idea. So that's number 6, very strange. Now number 7 is another strange shape. It's similar to the others, but then again it's different. It's got a bubble on this end with a thick ring round it. Thick ring round there. And a knobbly end for connecting to something or going into somewhere. And then it's got a long, thin piece out that end. Now it hasn't broken off. It looks like that's exactly how it was. But what it fits onto, or what it's for, again, I've no idea. Now there's 2 more, which I'm calling number 8. There's this one. Now this one I seem to recognise a little bit, and it may be part of what I call a dropper. In other words, it would have it looks like a little pipette, because it's got a little tubey bit on that end, and then this end maybe there was a bubble that you squeezed to suck up liquids. Now there's 2 of them, one of them's a bit dirty, and this one looks as if maybe there's something broken on the end. It does look a little bit broken, so it may have been exactly the same as that, but it's lost its end. So I have an idea that might be off a dropper for dropping drops into people's eyes or something, but I'm not 100% sure. So again, if you know exactly what it is, it's number 8, put a comment and tell me what it is. Now, this is only a short little video, and it's picking your brains a little bit, really, and I'm sorry about that, but back in the day when I was a child, when my father was he was the one for collecting all sorts of odds and ends, and his shed was full of mysterious things. For me as a young boy, I would go in his shed and I'd see all sorts of things, and he used to say to me, if I asked him, what's that for, Dad? You know, what's this thing? What is it? He'd say, oh, it's a wigwam to wind up the sun. Now, I don't know whether he actually knew what it was and he didn't want to tell me for some reason or other, or whether he didn't actually know. So this was his explanation. He would just tell me that if he had something that was so weird and he didn't know what it was, he would say it was a wigwam to wind up the sun. So that's what I'm going to call this video. So if you know what my wigwams are, you let me know. Now, another thing I'm going to do while I've got this video going is something that I always said to myself I wouldn't do. And that is to ask people to subscribe to my channel and to put a like and to ring the bell. I mean, they talk about this all the time. People on YouTube, I see when they do videos that I watch, they always ask you to subscribe to their channel and share the video and, you know, put a like up. Now, I always, if I like something, I put it up anyway, and I subscribe if I think they're doing interesting videos. So they don't really have to ask me, and it does seem a little bit like begging to me. But I don't know, maybe you get more hits, or maybe people look at your videos more, And what I need is more people to look at my videos, not for my own vanity, because I want people to see what I'm doing and what I'm up to, but just because I'm doing things, and a bit like this, I want to know what these things are. And the more people that see this video and can tell me what it is, the more I'm going to learn. And although I'm 70 and I think I've learned it all by that time, there's lots of things I don't know. And I'd love to know. There's a couple of other things that I've got that I don't know what they are, and I may do another. If I get a good response to this particular video, I may bring those in and pick your brains about those as well and see if you know what they are. But if you know anybody that might know what these things are, share the video with them and get them to reply to me and tell me what these strange pieces of glassware are. I'll be really intrigued to know, and I'll really appreciate you finding out. So thank you very much for that in advance. But that ends my little video today. It's only a little short one, but it's curious. And if anyone knows what these bits of glassware are, or you know somebody that might do, just tip them the wink, see if they can tell me what it is. Anyway, as usual, it's Grandad saying bye-bye now. Bye-bye.